Bro, today I almost repeated the same mistake. Again. After lunch, I did what I've done so many times before. I picked up my phone. I told myself I'd scroll for just a few minutes. But you probably know how that goes. One reel became another, then another. Before long, my mind started drifting. Old memories came back. Thoughts about a girl I used to have really deep feelings for. Even though nothing ever happened between us, my mind still had those emotional and sexual associations, and I could feel exactly where this was heading. I've been here before. The scrolling becomes fantasizing. The fantasizing becomes temptation. The temptation usually ends with porn, or masturbation, or both. And I remember thinking, not again. Then something really small happened. I realized it was the first day of a new month. Now, I don't want to build my obedience around calendar dates. I don't want to be the kind of Christian who only gets serious on Mondays, or the first of the month, or New Year's Day. But if I'm being honest, that thought gave me just enough space to pause. And sometimes, that's all you need. A pause. A moment where you remember you don't actually have to keep following the pattern. So instead of staying there, I got up. I had a shower. I checked in for accountability. Then I sat down to work on the next YouTube video I'd already committed myself to making. Here's what surprised me. The temptation didn't disappear. I didn't suddenly become super spiritual. I didn't suddenly stop wanting to escape. The temptation was still there. But this time, I responded differently. And I think that's what God showed me today. For so long, I've measured success by one question. Was I tempted? If the answer was yes, I felt like I was already losing. But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe the better question is, what did I do when temptation came? Because temptation isn't sin. Temptation is a moment of decision. It's an invitation. Every single one of us has patterns. For me, it often starts with mindless scrolling, then my thoughts drift, then fantasy, then temptation, then regret. But today, that pattern was interrupted. Not because I was stronger, not because I had some incredible burst of motivation, but because I paused long enough to choose a different next step. And maybe that's what freedom actually begins to look like. Not a life where temptation never shows up, but a life where temptation no longer gets to decide what happens next. I also realized something else. Sometimes we think victory has to look dramatic. It doesn't. Today, victory looked like taking a shower, sending an accountability message, closing Instagram, and sitting down to do the work I already knew I needed to do. Those aren't spectacular decisions, but maybe that's exactly how God changes us. One ordinary act of obedience at a time. Bro, if you're watching this after another relapse, or you're sitting in that same moment of temptation right now, I want you to remember something. You don't have to finish the pattern. Maybe all you need today is one small interruption. Put your phone down, walk outside, take a shower, call someone, open your Bible, pray. Do the next faithful thing. Not because that one action magically removes temptation, but because every time you choose obedience, you're teaching your heart that you don't have to keep walking the same road. Today, I didn't win because temptation disappeared. I won because I responded differently. And maybe that's where real freedom begins. Not in the absence of temptation, but in the presence of a different response.